After the Lakers lost to the Nuggets on the 5th of March, Shaq absolutely lost his mind and cornered LeBron in the tunnel. And what followed was not just a heated exchange between two men, it was a collision between two completely different philosophies of what professional basketball is supposed to look like. Before getting to the confrontation itself, it is important to understand exactly what happened on that court in Denver, because the box score alone does not tell the full story. The Lakers were down 110 to 106 with 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. LeBron drove on Jokic, scored the layup, and then immediately collapsed like he just hit a tripwire. He stayed down for an entire possession while the Lakers had to play 4-on-5 defense, basically handing the Nuggets a free transition bucket because he was too busy trying to sell a foul that never existed. This is not a matter of interpretation. The NBA had already addressed exactly this type of play. In 2026, the league literally put out a notice saying they were done rewarding this kind of theatrics. The referee looked LeBron dead in the face and confirmed no foul, marginal contact. What happened next is where the numbers become impossible to dismiss. LeBron limped to the back like his arm was about to fall off, but the second the Lakers managed to scrap their way back to a one-point game with 2 minutes left, he suddenly came sprinting back out of the tunnel. The logical question that every analyst and every casual fan asked in real time was straightforward. How do you go screaming like it was life or death to being game ready in exactly 120 seconds? With 22 seconds left and the Lakers down 7, LeBron turned his back and walked off the court early again, a detail that did not go unnoticed by the people waiting for him in that tunnel. According to sources inside the Lakers camp, Shaq was already making his way toward the back of Ball Arena before the final buzzer. The Big Diesel was already in his chest before LeBron's PR team could even begin to manage the narrative. Shaq absolutely lost his mind and started laying into LeBron about how he's dragging the Lakers' name through the dirt and making arguably the most prestigious franchise in sports history look like a total circus act. Sources say he allegedly even called LeBron the architect of the soft era, accusing him of turning the league into a platform where personal longevity matters more than winning fourth quarters. Shaq's central argument was grounded in direct comparison. While he played through a shattered toe and a broken thumb to earn his championships, the man he was confronting had just left a close game over an elbow that healed in 2 minutes. The confrontation reached its boiling point when Shaq told LeBron that every time the pressure gets high and the team starts to sink, LeBron magically finds a way to get hurt so the media can talk about his health instead of his failure to lead. Security and approximately 6 assistants had to physically intervene before the situation escalated further. To understand why Shaq felt this strongly, you have to look at the era he came from. In the early 2000s, there was no flagrant protection, no landing zone rules, and no systemic incentive to exit a competitive game. If a player went down, the expectation was that he was actually broken, otherwise he was getting laughed out of the arena. Shaq himself spent years getting hacked, slapped, and physically challenged every time he touched the ball, and he never once left a close game over marginal contact. This was not nostalgia, it was a measurable difference in how the game was structured and how its participants were expected to respond. Now look at what the 2024-25 season data actually shows for LeBron James on the current Lakers roster. The Lakers' record stands at 13-7 when LeBron is not in the building, compared to 26-18 when he plays, a 65% win rate without him versus a 59% win rate with him. That's a 6 percentage point drop in winning probability the moment he steps on the floor, which is statistically unusual for any player described as a team asset. The advanced metrics go further. With Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves on the floor, the Lakers' net rating is plus 1.9. You add LeBron to that mix, and the net rating for that specific trio cratered to minus 2.2 earlier this season, a 7-point swing produced entirely by one substitution. The defensive numbers are equally stark. When he's on the bench, the Lakers' defense is a top 10 unit with a rating of 116.8.
The second he steps onto the court, that number drops to 117.1, which would rank them among the bottom feeders of the league. With him active, the team gives up 14.5 transition points every single game, the second worst mark on the roster, and allows 12.7 fast break points per game, which is dead last on the team. Opponents are not just beating the Lakers in these stretches, they are running at them in transition specifically during LeBron's minutes. Brian Windhorst, a journalist who has spent his career covering LeBron favorably, openly admitted on First Take that the Lakers are objectively functioning better when he's not in the mix. This performance gap does not exist in isolation. In March 2021 and March 2022, recurring ankle issues kept LeBron sidelined precisely when the Lakers were sliding toward the play-in tournament. In March 2023, a right foot injury emerged when the team was struggling to maintain relevance, and he remained sidelined until the roster stabilized. In October of last year, a sciatica issue coincided with the front office's visible pivot toward building around Luka as the franchise's future centerpiece. No single absence proves a pattern. The clustering of these events within specific competitive windows is what the data makes difficult to explain otherwise. The reaction from inside the league has been measured but direct. Kevin Garnett went on his podcast and addressed LeBron's leadership, saying players these days aren't committed to the game, and contextualizing that critique within the physical standards of his own era. Garnett's point was not sentimental, it was a structural observation that players who pioneered today's load management culture have redefined what commitment to a franchise looks like. Byron Scott, a former Laker with genuine institutional stakes in the franchise's reputation, went further. His public statement was precise. "I think this should be his last year here, not in the NBA, just here." That's the language of an insider applying direct pressure. Perhaps the most analytically interesting signal is generational. Cooper Flagg, widely projected as the face of the NBA's next era, has stated in interviews that he models his game after Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, players who retired before he was born. A player who grew up entirely during the LeBron era is reaching past it for his competitive blueprint. That preference reflects something the statistics also reflect. The killer instinct associated with those earlier players is not something the current data associates with LeBron's late-season performance patterns. The tunnel confrontation at Ball Arena was not a random outburst. It was the visible surface of a tension that the numbers had been building for months. The gap between a 41-year-old player's declining on-court impact and the modern high-speed offensive identity the Lakers are constructing around a 27-year-old Doncic. Shaq said what the analytics had already concluded. The Lakers are a better defensive team, a better transitional team, and a more efficient offensive unit when LeBron is watching from the bench. That's not an opinion. That is what the data from this season shows, and it's why a confrontation in a cold concrete hallway in Denver carried the weight that it did.